This show is brought to you by Safety FM.
Program is rated MALSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Finally, show with the balls to call it like it is. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Countdown to audio torture.
The Rated R Safety Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Let the eardrum pain begin.
Forget the corporate bullshit. This is the Rated R Safety Show with your host, Dr. It doesn't matter who the host is.
Yeah, I think that forgetting the corporate bullshit might be the best way to live life, but that's a whole other story for us to have at some other point. Anyways, today is Tuesday, November the 18th of 2025, day 322nd. Of the year, and 43 days left to go. That's it. That's the remainder. Yeah, that's the remainder. We are broadcasting from the Safety FM studios in Orlando, Florida, and coming across the multiverse known as Safety FM, and then hanging out with our friends and colleagues over there.
Radio Big. USA, Canada, UK.
Oh, yes, hanging out with our friends at Radio Big as they do the oddities that they do over there on that section of the world. And we are here doing our odd stuff in this section of the world. I guess it kind of all works out when it's all said and done. Anyways, how's the last 24 hours or so been for you? Hopefully good and grand as everything is happening inside of the world of the multiverse. So let's start talking right away. Our show consists of safety in the news and safety. If you've never been here before, if you have been here before, thanks for coming back and checking out what exactly we have going on here. No doubt about that. So with that being said, you have multiple ways of interacting with this thing. You can listen to us on our podcast, which we do right after the first hour at the 8 o'clock hour Eastern time. We release this one. And then you have the options of doing the video streaming or the actual radio aspect, which of course the radio aspect we're always going to do. If you're watching the video streaming, you can go to safetyfm.com and click on visual radio. Once you get there, you'll see the streams of Eames, and that will kind of take everything through as we go through the whole process, no doubt there. So with that being said, callinradio.com, audio, video, text messaging are the easiest ways to do this. As we go around jibber jabbering about everything going on inside of the multiverse, our show consists of safety in the news and safety. So as we will talk, we'll bring in some professional broadcasters and they will talk a little bit about everything going on inside of the multiverse. So there you go. A lot of stuff, little time, the traditional stuff, as you know already. We're going to try to get through this as quickly as we can to make sure that we keep you informed, maybe some level of entertainment, and then we'll go from there. So I have to tell you before I forget, today on Safety FM with Jay Allen that comes out at noon Eastern, I was blessed enough to sit down with Dr. Todd Conklin to talk about his newest book. So, The Stability Trap. So be on the lookout for that thing. It comes out today in regards to the interview. So think you might enjoy some of it if you take a gander under on what's going on. Anyways, with that being said, why don't we bring in our friends from Feature Story News and let them tell us about what the hell's going on.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
From Feature Story News in London, I'm Stuart Smith. US President Donald Trump has suggested he's open to talks with Venezuelan leader Nicolas Maduro, who's facing pressure from the White House as his country witnesses a large military buildup in the region. Mitch McCann reports.
Travelling back to Washington after a weekend in Florida, the US president spoke about increased tensions between the US and Venezuela and told reporters we may be having some discussions with Maduro and we'll see how that turns out. He added they would like to talk. The US has moved its largest aircraft carrier into the Caribbean, and Reuters reports it has 5,000 military personnel and dozens of warplanes on board. Maduro is wanted by the US, which has accused him of ties to the illegal drug trade, allegations that he denies. While America's goals or plans in the region are unclear, Mr. Trump, when asked what action the US may be set to take, said he has sort of made up my mind.
Japan is trying to calm down an escalating dispute with China over Taiwan that has prompted Beijing to urge citizens to halt travel to its East Asian neighbour. It's the new Prime Minister's first major diplomatic test less than a month into office, after angering China with remarks about Tokyo's position on the red line issue of Taiwan. Laura Westbrook reports from Hong Kong.
China claims Taiwan as its own to be reunited by force if necessary. In her comments, Japanese Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi suggested Tokyo could take military action if Beijing attacked Taiwan. She later said that her comments did not constitute a change in policy. China, though, has unleashed a flurry of economic reprisals and threats of more retribution. It's also warned its citizens not to travel to the country. Japan has dispatched a senior diplomat to Beijing to meet with Chinese officials to discuss the tensions. Japan is expected to explain its security position has not changed and urge China to refrain from actions that damage ties.
Pakistan has ramped up counter-terrorism operations in its western province that borders Afghanistan, with the government saying the country is facing renewed security threats. The move follows a deadly suicide attack in Islamabad last week that killed 12 people and injured dozens more. Islamabad blames Afghanistan for allowing militants to operate from its soil. That's a charge the Afghan administration denies. Hira Mustafa reports from Islamabad.
Security officials say intelligence-based operations are now taking place daily along Pakistan's western frontier as the country intensifies its fight against militant groups. The military says security forces killed 15 militants in two separate operations, 10 in Dera Ismail Khan, about 300 kilometers south of Peshawar city, and 5 in North Waziristan district. Pakistan blames Afghanistan for the surge in cross-border attacks, with the Prime Minister and Defence Minister accusing Kabul of sheltering militants.
With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks. Today, is the United States about to attack Venezuela? President Trump says ground warfare will soon begin against alleged drug traffickers in the country after a series of attacks on speedboats that the Pentagon, without providing any proof, says were filled with illicit narcotics heading to American shores. Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro has placed the country on a state of alert and drawn up plans to protect vital infrastructure in the event of any US attack. Latin American scholar Oliver Stunkel is an associate professor in FGV's School of International Relations in Sao Paulo.
Everything suggests that the Trump administration is seeking to scare Maduro into resigning, perhaps. I think that there's still a lot of concern in Washington about potential unintended consequences of having boots on the ground. The primary goal right now is to create a situation in which internally there will be a movement, perhaps of a general seeking to move against Maduro.
He spoke to Foreign Policy magazine. Last week, the British government stopped sharing intelligence with the US that might be used in an assault on Venezuela, amid indications that London is worried there are no grounds in international law, even for the maritime attacks that the Trump administration has already engaged in. With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks.
To recap the top stories, the UN Security Council has endorsed a transitional government in Gaza to be led by US President Donald Trump, though questions remain over the details and timeline. Tokyo is trying to calm an escalating dispute with Beijing over Taiwan that's prompted China to urge citizens to halt travel to Japan. And Saudi Arabia's Prince Mohammed bin Salman will visit the US President in Washington, his first time back in America since the state-sponsored killing of a Saudi journalist in 2018. That's the latest feature story news. Stuart Smith reporting.
This show is almost as enjoyable as hearing the sound of the toilet flush. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
You ever hit the wall, burn out, stressed, or just feeling that everything is piling up and thought, yeah, I probably need to talk to someone? The problem is finding the therapist who actually takes your insurance feels impossible at times. That's where Rula comes in. Rula is a healthcare company that makes mental health care easy to access and actually affordable. They partner with over 100 insurance plans, so the average copay is about $15 a session, sometimes even less. With Rula, you get matched with the right therapist for you, not just whoever's available. Their network has over 15,000 licensed professionals, and you can book an appointment as soon as tomorrow. No wait list, no frustrations, just therapy that works with your schedule and your insurance. Thousands of people are already using Rula to get affordable, high-quality therapy that actually covered by insurance. Visit Rula.com/safetyfm to get started. After you sign up, you'll be asked how you heard about them. Please support our show and let them know that we sent you there. That's RULA.com/safetyfm. You deserve mental health care that works with you, not against your budget. Go to Rula.com/safetyfm right now to get started. That's RULA.com/safetyfm because you deserve mental health care that works with you, not against your budget.
What if everything we thought we knew about safety was just interference? From the host of the Rated R Safety Show and the founder of Safety FM comes the complete signal transmission trilogy, now available in one powerful edition. Safety, in my opinion, the book that started the conversation. Safety Mutation, where the boundaries of culture, systems, and belief begin to break. And now, Safety Transmission, the final piece of the signal. For the first time, all three books are together in one volume. The Signal Transmission Trilogy, Complete Edition. This isn't just about compliance. It's about consciousness. It's about decoding the way we think, lead, and live, inside and outside the system. Whether you've been following the signal since the beginning or you're just now tuning in, this is the version to own. Search Signal Trilogy on Amazon or visit safetyfm.com to get your copy now.
Hey there, Jay Allen here with Safety FM, where we just don't talk about safety, we live it. And when it comes to safeguarding your future, there's no better partner than Acorns. This part of the show has been brought to you by Acorns and a powerful tool that makes saving and investing easier than ever. We all know that investing can feel overwhelming, especially with busy lives and no time to dive into the nitty-gritty of financial markets, but Acorns changes the game. With Acorns, you don't need to be a financial expert or have a hefty sum of money to get started. In fact, Acorns lets you begin with just spare change. All about those small steps, small investments today that can build into something much bigger over time. Acorns recommends that the expert build portfolio designed to fit financial goals. Then it does the heavy lifting for you by automatically investing your money. It's like having a financial advisor in your pocket working around the clock to help your money grow. So why wait? Head over to acorns.com/safetyfm or download the Acorns app and take that first step towards securing your future today. Remember, in the world of safety and investing, small actions today can lead to mighty outcomes tomorrow. Paid non-client endorsement. Compensation provides an incentive to positively promote Acorns. Investing involves risk. Acorns Advisors, LLC, and SEC registered investment advisors. View important disclosures at acorn.com/safetyfm. At Safety FM, we're all about making smart decisions on the job and in life. So take control of your financial future. This is Jay Allen reminding you to stay safe, stay smart, and invest in your tomorrow.
The secret to make ahead turkey is that you make everything ahead. It just so reduces stress. Then what I do is a big puddle of gravy on the bottom of an oven-proof baking dish. I slice the turkey when no one's looking. I just put the entire sliced turkey on top of the puddle of gravy, and then just before dinner, I put it into the oven and reheat everything together. And what you end up with is really hot turkey, and it stays really warm because of the puddle of gravy. It's delicious and moist, and it's the best turkey you'll ever have.
Radio Big. USA, Canada, UK.
Oh, yes, the things that I get to learn from YouTube, just in case if you had some turkey questions. Maybe it's a turkey for you and a turkey for me. That's what it probably sounds like when it is all said and done. Okay, so let's start talking right away as we are 15 minutes past the top of the hour and, going into everything that we need to start talking about. Because, this is what we do. This is our adventure as we go through some things. No doubt about that. So there you go. Yeah, I know. It's, it's the week before Thanksgiving and you start kind of going, okay, what the hell's going on inside of the world? So let's get into some news stories right away. Jesse Jackson family says that he's stable after being hospitalized in Chicago for progressive supranuclear palsy, PSP, a rare neurological condition. They put out the update after what they called an inaccurate media report claiming that he was on life support, which they flat out denied. According to the family, he's breathing on his own, and he spent the day directing a project to help churches prepare for 2,000 food baskets for the holidays. Jackson, 84, has been dealing with this condition for over a decade. It was originally diagnosed as Parkinson's back in 2017, but doctors confirmed earlier this year that actually PSP, a progressive disorder that affects movement, balance, speech, cognition, and eye control. It's rare, often misdiagnosed, and has no cure. Despite the challenges, the civil rights leader remains mentally engaged and active in his work, according to his family. So there you go. Some stuff going on. So good to hear that things sound like they're better than what people had initially started indicating about what was going on. Okay, so let's get into some other stuff as we are going through the multiverse of things. So let's go through this one. Charlie Kirk's former head of security, Brian Harpole, is shutting down the internet conspiracy theories, claiming that his team flashed hand signals right before Kirk was assassinated at the Utah event on September the 10th. The viral footage showed two security members adjusting their sleeves or hats seconds before the shots, which some people twisted into a claim that inside involvement. Harpole told podcaster Sean Ryan that the theories are nonsense. His team doesn't use hand signals at all. They communicate through comms. And if they did use signals, they wouldn't rely on everyday gestures like scratching and adjusting clothing. He said the idea that the guard touching his hat was some kind of secret code is ridiculous. He also noted that the real signal had been given. Every guard would instantly look to him for instructions, which never happened. Harpole said that he was shocked by the volume of conspiracy surrounding the shooting, including the bizarre claim that Kirk's wife, Erica, was involved. Something that he called baseless and cruel, reminding people that she's a victim who lost her husband. Where Harpole dismissed the hand signal fantasies, he admitted that he still has his own unanswered questions about the shooting because so many people online have sensationalized everything to the point where finding the truth is even harder. So there you go. It's just one of those weird ones when you really start thinking about it, because it seems like you're never going to really get the answers that you want. And that's just kind of what happens sometimes when you start getting into what we'll call
conspiracy theories
on things that are going on inside of the world. So there you go. Okay, take a listen to this. The president said that he's ready to sign a bill forcing the Justice Department to release all Epstein-related files if it reaches his desk. After months of pushing Republicans to block it, he abruptly flipped and told them to vote yes. He brushed off the controversy as distraction from the administration wins and called the whole Epstein issue a Democratic problem. Rep. Thomas Macy, who co-sponsored the bill, said that he expects over 100 Republicans to back these releases. The House is expected to pass it, but the real bottleneck is the Senate, where leaders haven't committed to holding a vote. Even if it gets through, no one knows whether full flies or the full, well, the fools will fly, I guess is one way to put it. And then if all of the files will be there, will actually mean full files. Democrats recently released old Epstein estate emails mentioning the president by name, but the White House dismissed them as meaningless. The president said that the Epstein storm is just another political hoax, insisted that he kicked Epstein out of Mar-a-Lago decades ago, and said that his administration had already turned over mountains of documents, montañas of documents. So what do you think? I think it's interesting. For sure it's interesting, just to say the least. It's one of those things that I take a look at and I go, let's say, for instance, that he was involved. How much information are you going to get? And let's say, for instance, he wasn't involved. How much information are you going to get? Because here's the thing. There's so many ways to look at this. If he was involved, how are you going to know for sure? And what is these emails are going to show? And if he wasn't involved, how are you going to know for sure? And what are these emails are going to show? I mean, if you think about bad relationships or anything where you've had a friend, an acquaintance that all of a sudden you no longer had anything to do with because you found out X, how would it look before that ever happened? Believe me, I am not here defending anyone. I'm just having the conversation with you with how would it look prior to you knowing the information. Good, bad, or indifferent. Seriously. Okay, take a listen to this one. The House runs by Republicans is set to vote today on the measure demanding the Justice Department to hand over all of the Epstein files. The move comes right after the president urged Republicans to support the full disclosure, a major shift from the earlier warning of the Epstein was political trap. On Truth Social, he blasted the whole thing as Democratic-driven distraction and insisted that was meant to derail the GOP momentum, especially after what he called a recent victory over Democrats attempted to shut down. So I don't know. It's kind of all over the place as you start taking a little look-see here, a little look-see there on exactly what is going on. So I don't know. How do you look at this whole thing? Like, seriously, just take it for one moment and think about how that would actually go. I don't know. It's just one of those things to think about as we are, looking at it. I don't know. It's just a weird one when it's all said and done.
Radio Big. USA, Canada, UK.
Okay, take a listen to this one. A bunch of loud voices online, mostly men, plus a few women chiming in for backup, are blasting stay-at-home moms, calling them lazy and insisting that they're exaggerating how hard the job is. The main instigator is a guy named Cass from Colorado Springs, self-described from a work-from-home, stay-at-home dad. He bragged in the viral clips that he feeds, changes, entertains, and naps his 1-year-old, fully cleans his apartment before lunchtime, and then smugly asks, when does being a stay-at-home mom become hard? Meanwhile, actual moms are saying, buddy, try 24/7 and get back to us. The reality of a stay-at-home mother's report, massive stress, burnout, isolation, resentment, especially with 62% of parents saying that they feel unsupported by partners. The workload is nonstop. Cooking, cleaning, childcare, emotional labor, zero breaks. One New York City mom admits that she's exhausted and that even sleep and coffee can't fix it. So take a listen to this.
To all the stay-at-home moms, I feel like you're lying. Because of what I get to do for work, I can still stay home and pay all the bills. And my wife will have to go to work to make her money. And I have a 1-year-old daughter. So I'll stay at home and I'll take care of my daughter. And while I'm taking care of my 1-year-old daughter, I can give her 3 meals a day, change her on time, get her into her naps, play time, arts and crafts time, and still make sure the entire place is clean. And I can clean the whole apartment while watching her before 12 or 1 o'clock. And yes, I know an apartment is different than a home, but I have a 2,300 square foot apartment, so it's not tiny. But I do know that I can just be ignorant to a lot of people's situations. So can someone please tell me, when does being a stay-at-home mom become hard?
Okay, so let me know how you feel about that. Go ahead and go to callinradio.com and we'll get it all started as we are moving and grooving. So there you go. Some other questions that have come up recently. Yesterday on TMZ, a female staffer said that she wanted to get married at 22 years of age. All the staffers erupted, and not in a good way. She said then that she just wants to get married while she's thin and beautiful. So take a listen. So what do you think is the ideal age to get married?
There's still time for you. You're 21 years old.
You don't want to get married at 22?
Yes, I do.
No! We are talking after this meeting.
I just want to get married while I'm thin and beautiful.
Okay, so there you go. A lot of stuff going on right there. How do you feel about it? I mean, like, what is the correct age to get married? And I guess if we're going to stick around on TMZ, also a male staffer said that people fall in love with people, not a gender. So what do you think about attraction is about the person or the packaging? Take a listen.
People love people. Everyone is like this. You fall in love with people, not with a gender or... Is that true for you?
What? Are you revealing something?
No, but I mean, it could happen to anyone. It happens to have been all women in my life.
Okay, so there you go. A lot of stuff going on TMZ is what it sounds like yesterday. I don't know if it's controversial or if it makes sense when it's all said and done. It's kind of just one of those things. How do you feel about it when it's all said and done? Take a listen to this one because it gets pretty interesting. Are you a DoorDasher? Are you more along of an Uber Eats kind of person or whatever service you like? Well, take a listen to this. A DoorDash driver from upstate New York, 23-year-old Olivia Henderson. Yes, Olivia Henderson was arrested on felony charges after she filmed a drunk, half-naked customer passed out on his couch and posted the clip on TikTok where they racked up millions of views. Henderson claimed that she was lured and sexually assaulted because the door was open and the man was exposed. But the ring footage shows that she walked into the house on her own. Police say that the man was simply unconscious from alcohol and never invited her in or encouraged her to record him. DoorDash quickly deactivated her account, saying that filming customers in their homes is a major policy violation. Henderson now faces 2 felonies: unlawful surveillance and dismantling unlawful surveillance images. So there you go. How would you dismantle those? Maybe the word was supposed to be disseminating and somebody put the wrong thing there. Anyways, charges could bring up to 8 years in prison. She's been released and is due back in court on December the 4th, while the customers is cooperating with investigation. So when DoorDash says leave it at the door, they didn't mean enter the home and start a documentary. So there you go. I don't know. It's kind of a weird one. So, I mean, I will tell you, I live in one of those weird things where I live in a gated community. And in the gated community, if somebody does not answer that damn gate, like say, okay, go ahead and let them in, they will leave the food at the gate. I have seen it hundreds of times. And that's not a joke as I say that. Hundreds of times where people's food gets left there. So there you go. I don't know. Kind of a weird one when it's all said and done. Anyways, a 26-year-old man from the Bronx, an Amazon driver, Fareed Adeli, was shot and killed in a mistaken identity ambush outside of a 24-hour laundromat. He had recently bought a Volkswagen Passat from a close friend, Colton McKenzie, not knowing that McKenzie was out on bond and tied up in an attempted murder case from August shootout. 3 people, 24-year-old Devontae Moore, his 64-year-old father Norman, and a 16-year-old gunman allegedly showed up at the laundromat looking to settle the score with McKenzie over the previous gun battle. They saw the car, assumed McKenzie was behind the wheel, and then the teen opened fire. Fareed Adeli, who had nothing to do with any of it, was killed instantly. All 3 suspects were arrested in the weeks that followed and are being held without bail. The teen's name hasn't been released due to his age, but McKenzie, the intended target, is still facing attempted murder charges from August shootout and is due back in court in December. Fareed's family said that he was working hard, planning for the Marines, and had no clue that he had bought a car tied to someone with an open violence issue. So there you go. A lot of stuff going on inside of the world for sure. I mean, what do you think there? I don't know. This gets kind of interesting. Take a listen to this one. The NFL first ever game in Spain, Commanders versus the Dolphins in Madrid, sparked a full-blown fan meltdown, and not because of the football. Singer Karina Parisian performed the U.S. national anthem wearing black mini dress in a thigh-high stockings, garters, and opera gloves. Half of the internet decided that she looked like she had wandered in from the late-night cabaret, calling the outfit inappropriate and embarrassing. The other half said that her voice crushed it. Some even claimed that it was the best anthem since Whitney Houston's Star-Spangled Banner, may be best to sing, but Parisian clearly didn't flinch. Parisian, 34, actually lives in Spain these days and has been spotlighted since she was a teenager. Grammy nomination, White House performance for President George W. Bush, and even a run on Spain's version of The Voice. She sings in 6 languages, called Quincy Jones her musical godfather, and recently voiced a character for the animated film Mummies. So there you go. Just some stuff to think about as we are talking. Okay, let's continue going into some other information. A couple in Ocean County, New Jersey, just pulled off the lottery equivalent of getting struck by lightning twice and loving every second of it. Less than 6 months after cashing in a $1 million scratch-off prize, they hit another jackpot for $3 million from Jackpot Millions tickets they picked up at a local Exide station. Their monthly ritual: buy a stack of scratchers, wait until the kids go to bed, and then battle it out to see who wins more. This time, the husband saw the big prize first, clutched the ticket to his chest and screamed. His wife double-checked and burst out laughing. And the rest of the millionaire deja vu. Lottery officials call it pure blind luck. And the couple with 2 kids and a third on the way say that money's going straight towards the care of their growing family. So there you go. I mean, good for them. That's kind of a weird one for it to occur, but hey, good for them that it definitely did occur. That's for sure. Okay, take a listen to this. A man in Idaho turned a casual pizza night into a full-blown circus act. David record breaker Rush, the man who treats Guinness titles like Pokemon cards, saw a TV reel of odd world records while eating Uncle Bob's pizza. One clip showed someone balancing bowling balls on a unicycle, and his brain apparently said, "Yep. That one's for me." He checked the rules to ride the unicycle for at least 10 seconds while carrying at least 6 bowling balls. So he grabbed his unicycle, borrowed extra balls from the Wazoo Family Fun Zone, and went to work. Rush pulled it off, riding the required time while carrying 7 bowling balls, officially breaking the record. Just another day in the life of the guy who sees world records and treats them like a grocery list. So there you go. Definitely some stuff to think about as we are talking. Anyways, 32 minutes past the top of the hour. And if you've been here before, you know what's about to happen now.
Here is our main story on the Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, so main story time. And I have to tell you, sometimes when we sit around and we start talking about what main stories should look like, I get kind of concerned on what we're going to end up talking about. And damn it, it's Tuesday. And you know what happens on Tuesdays? I think about tacos. And not that I don't think about tacos most of the times, but definitely on Tuesdays I think about it because people try to do that rhyme thing, that Taco Tuesday thing. So let me tell you a story real quick. And yes, it starts with where you think it should go, with the taco, because it is Taco Tuesday. Because sometimes some of the biggest lessons in life don't come from a conference room, a workshop, or the latest leadership book on somebody's highlighted within an inch of its life, and, oh my God, I almost died, that thing. Now, sometimes lessons come wrapped in a warm tortilla, and maybe that's the conversation we should have here today. So here I am standing inside of a little hole-in-the-wall type of spot for some unknown reason only opens on Taco Tuesday. And let me explain. And this place is not on Instagram. It's not an Instagram cutie place. There is no neon sign. There is no handcrafted benches. The menu is written on with a dry erase marker, and pretty sure one of the letters has been smudged for at least 3 years, but we'll leave that for a different story. But everyone in line knows something. They know that the tacos, for a reason unknown to anybody, they're fully incredible in this place. And while waiting, I was watching the crew behind the counter, 3 people, 1 grill, 1 prep table, 1 register, the typical hole in the wall kind of place. And somehow they're running the place like a symphony. There's no yelling. There's no chaos. There's no who's doing what. Just flow. Flow. And that's when it hit me. The first lesson from Taco And I said, let's talk about that because this is what we need to talk about on the show. And simply, it isn't a step backwards. It's a strategy. Overcomplicating everything. Safety programs, workflows, procedures, onboarding, leadership development. Hell, we can even take something simple as turning in to a 50-page document with an appendix, a footnote, and a training video that nobody will ever watch. And yet here, it's a tiny kitchen, and the system is simple enough that everyone can see everything and everyone knows the flow. And they know how to flow. And sometimes the safest, most effective things that you can do is remove steps instead of adding more. And okay, that's cool, but that's lesson one. Then I get my tacos and I sit down, and now these things are messy. Like, don't even pretend that you're clean. They're just messy. That's just how tacos work. And I'm trying to figure out how to take a bite without wearing, the ingredients like a badge of honor, but luckily I wear black most of the time, so that's good. So you won't see it. And that's when lesson 2 kind of hits me. Lesson 2, you can't control everything, so stop pretending that you can. The taco is going to drip. It just kind of is what the normal thing is if it's cooked right. The tortilla is going to rip slightly, and something is going to fall out and hit, the plate. Like it's trying to escape from prison, but we'll leave that for a different story. And guess what? That's fine. That's kind of how it works. In safety, we're always trying to engineer all the uncertainty out of our life. We try to create zero risk solutions, and then we're shocked when humans act human, like, oh my God, why would this happen? But taco reminds us that you can control the structure, but the experience is always going to have variables. I will tell you that I can eat a taco. I've had several of them, but not every experience is the same. And uncertainty doesn't mean failure. And that's where some people get hung up. It means that you're alive. As I'm wrapping this thing back up for a bite, or bite number 2, I notice that the guy next to me, he drops half of his taco literally onto the table. Then he looks down at it, he looks up at me, and then he shrugs, and then he goes right back to eating half of it as it still has. I mean, like nothing was going on. And that's how this leads to lesson 3. Lesson 3, people don't need perfection. They need grace. We judge workers for not being 100% perfect, not for not being 100% on time, in 100% of the conditions. We have this expectancy that everything needs to hit on all cylinders at all time. While we can't keep on topping inside of the tortillas. Like, hey, if I put a tortilla together and I eat a taco and part of it falls out, it's going to be an experience. So imagine if we built a safety system, our teams, and our conversations around the idea that people deserve grace, not judgment. We'd get a whole lot further, I would imagine. And finally, I'm finishing the last bite, and the one where you kind of, it's sad because you know that it's almost over, and then I realize something else. The good stuff is always in the middle. The first bite is exciting, the last bite is satisfying, but the real experience is the texture and the flavor and the warmth happening in the middle. Just like work, just like relationships, just like life. But we rush through the middle because we're trying to get to the next meeting, the next task, the next email, the next whatever. A taco doesn't rush you. It asks you to sit down, be present, and enjoy it before it falls apart. And yeah, this is where a Taco Tuesday reference, comes full circle. Taco Tuesday isn't really about tacos. It's about pausing once a week to appreciate something small, something simple, something that reminds you that life isn't just a checklist and deadlines. Did you read the memo? Sometimes the universe hands you a taco and says, hey, slow down, learn something. So today, whether it's Taco Tuesday or not, but it is, maybe take a moment, slow down, and simply accept the mess, give some grace, enjoy the middle. Because if a taco can teach us a few things about life and safety, maybe we just need to be paying better attention to what is going on.
Oops! What did he just say?
We at Safety FM don't always agree with viewpoints of our hosts and guests.
Now back to real safety talk on Safety FM.
Don't go anywhere.
You're listening to the home of real safety talk.
You're listening to Safety FM. We'll be right back.
This portion of the show has been sponsored by Private Internet Access, America's #1 virtual private network, or VPN. Even if you use incognito mode, internet service providers is storing your browser data and many times even selling it. But Private Internet Access, or PIA, can help you. PIA encrypts and reroutes your internet traffic through one of its own servers, hiding your data from your internet service provider or network admin. And with servers in over 75 countries, you can get unrestricted access to geo-blocked content from around the world. PIA comes with easy-to-use apps and browsers extension for all devices, a rock-solid privacy policy, open source security, advanced customization settings, and it was just ranked the fastest VPN in the world by PC Magazine. And if you sign up right now with PIA, you can take advantage of a special deal only for Safety FM listeners. Only by using the following link, you can get the digital privacy for less than $2 a month. Yes, you did hear me correctly, less than $2 a month, and an extra 4 months for free. So that means for only $1.98 a month and 83% off, you can get this service for you right now. That's so much more inexpensive than virtually every other VPN on the market. And if you get it right now, you can take PIA's 30-day risk-free challenge. You can try it out for 30 days, see if you like it, and if not, just return it for a full refund. So just go to safetyfm.com/VPN. That's safetyfm.com/VPN to try out the best VPN on the planet completely risk-free. Now remember, safetyfm.com/VPN.
Is your safety training old, stale, and hacked? Is your safety trainer still preaching a warped version of behavior-based safety? How about safety training that actually addresses your hazards in your workplaces and is not standardized baloney from 25 years ago? Contact the Safety Wars team at safetywars.com or call Jim Posel at 845-269-5772. Remember, if you're receiving this message, you are the solution to unsafe workplaces.
Let's start using cutting-edge warp speed 5G technology with your cell phone. Let me tell you about my friends at mobilemobile.io. They have an ultra-fast 4G LTE and 5G network that covers 99% of Americans. So they've got you covered everywhere. Think about it for a moment. You have the opportunity to take a test drive for 10 days with unlimited talk, text, and premium data. What is premium data? Premium data is an allotment of a cellular data that you receive from a higher priority on the network. You won't get throttled like you will with some of those, well, non-brand service providers. To find out more information, all you have to do is go to mobilemobile.io. That's mobilemobile.io to start your 10-day free trial.
Hello. In safety, in my opinion, you woke up. You saw the system, the simulation, the structure that trained you to mistake compliance for care. Safety mutation. Information misdirection picks up where the signal fractured. Because the system didn't shut you down, it rebranded you. It packaged your voice, sold your rebellion as a new initiative, and smiled while doing it. This isn't a manual. It's a decoded transmission about what happens when slogans replace stories, when safety becomes marketing, and when truth gets mirrored so perfectly, you forget it was ever yours. You'll see the mutation. Learning teams turned into theater, zero harm turned into optics, and feedback turned into formatting. But the signal didn't die. It was redirected. Safety Mutation is Book 2 of the Signal Transmission Trilogy. Available now in print, Kindle, and audiobook. Narrated by the author J. Allen, Ph.D. Because the system adapted. Now it's your move.
Radio Big. Streaming 24/7 at radiobig.fm.
Rewritten lines in the new episode.
Oh, yeah, they all reset when I trust them. Okay, this is still the Rated R Safety Show. This is Fragments of the Real. No, seriously, that's the name of the song. I know that because I titled it.
Neon sings.
Yeah, you are still hanging out here on the Rated R Safety Show. 45 minutes past the top of the hour. We are still broadcasting via Safety FM and RadioBig.fm. Yeah. You know, we're still trying to do our studio stuff. I've been focusing a lot on music lately. Yeah, you know how it goes. Oh, Fragments of the Real again.
I've been uploaded, downloaded, erased, every memory perfectly replaced. They call it life, but it's just a feed, a loop delusion of want and need. Break the code.
You know, I can get stuck here in these songs, man.
In the dark. Fragments of the real, they fade when I touch them.
Yeah, Fragments of the Real, they fade when I touch them, no doubt about that. Let's get into some move and some groove of some of the things that are going on inside of the world of the multiverse, because that is kind of what we do around here. If anything, let me tell you about the most important thing that I will ever tell you in my lifetime, and that's about my friends at To Write Love on Her Arms. No matter what you're facing, you deserve to be connected to help, and my friends at To Write Love on Her Arms want you to know that people have been where you are now, and things can get better. Healing is possible. To find out more information, all you have to do is go to TWLOHA.com. That's TWLOHA.com and click on the section that says Find Help. Once you get there, all you have to do is look over the info, because there's information related to addiction, depression, anxiety, eating disorders, self-injury, suicide, trauma, grief support, just to name a few. That's TWLOHA.com. To Write Love on Her Arms. So there you go. A lot of stuff going on inside of there. No doubt or outer about that as we are talking. So a lot of stuff going on, as you are aware. We are in the midst of getting to that day next week where everybody is supposed to be happy and thankful and all that kind of fun stuff. So what do you think? So take a listen to this. Americans are obsessed with butter. Yeah, I know. You probably don't want to hear this right before the holidays, but let's talk about it anyways. And the numbers prove it. A new survey of 2,000 holiday celebrations found that 63% say they absolutely doomed if they run out of butter during winter cooking rush. 5 sticks gets plowed through per household each holiday, more than double the weekly average. Mashed potatoes and dinner rolls are the big butter bosses. 79% and 77% say they must have it.
I gotta have it.
I gotta have it. Followed by closely by corn, cornbread, sweet potatoes, and stuffing. Nearly 3/4 of respondents call butter one of their all-time favorite ingredients, and 61% claim they literally cannot
live without it.
So some people just can't make it, as we are. So there you go. I don't know. I don't know if I should talk about this, but we're going to talk about it this way. I did get one of these other weird news stories. A sex educator says that, yes, spanking can actually reduce stress for some people. According to Lisa Finn from Babeland, and yes, I did say Babeland, impact play can snap anxious minds out of overthinking loops, especially for folks struggling with anxiety or ADHD. The control pain releases endorphins, dopamine, and oxytocin. It's basically the body's own cocktail of mood elevators. When fixed with sexual arousal, pain can flip into pleasure. Control is the big theme. Dominant channels say that they're stressed into structured control. Submissives get relief by safely giving up control. A 2016 study even showed that people, especially submissives, experience measurable drops in psychological stress after consensual BDSM scenes. I don't even understand what that means, but there you go. Let's see. Finn calls spanking the perfect entry point for anyone curious about BDSM, because it simply adjusts and ranges from playful taps to full throttle intensity. The recommends 1 to 10 scale each strike so both partners can calibrate pressure, communication, and consent run the whole show. Partners should negotiate boundaries, expectations, safe words, and aftercare before anything starts. Turns out that the secret of inner peace is your outer cheeks. I don't know, some weird stuff going on there. That is for sure. I know nothing about this stuff. That is for sure. With that being said, let's do something a little bit more happy. Let's bring some John Smalls into our life and let him tell us about the Motivation Minute.
The Motivation Minute, courtesy of GenesisGoldIRA.com and JaceCaseMedical.com.
The Motivation Minute.
Today's quote was submitted by Davey. Paula Colo said, "When we strive to become better than we are, everything around us becomes better too." This is excellent. I also believe this to be true. I've witnessed this firsthand. I worked with a business that began to grow. Then his neighbor saw what was happening next door, so he began doing the same thing. He realized that he could use this momentum to grow his business too. Then the neighbor on the other side also stepped up to grow while his neighbors were both bringing extra people to the area. If you find a way to work together rather than compete with one another, everybody wins. Go ahead, try it.
The Motivation Minute.
The Motivation Minute, courtesy of GenesisGoldIRA.com and JaceCaseMedical.com. I'm John Small. Thanks for listening. Your favorite motivational quotes can be submitted for upcoming programs at motivationminute.org.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
This is News and
Israeli forces intensified airstrikes on suspected militant targets in southern Lebanon overnight, prompting urgent calls from world leaders for an immediate ceasefire to avert a broader regional war.
The strikes followed rocket fire from Hezbollah positions into northern Israel. At least 12 people were killed, including civilians, according to local health officials. Diplomats from the UN and EU are convening emergency talks today to broker de-escalation efforts. Benjamin Wright reporting.
As monsoon floods ravage parts of Southeast Asia, rescue teams in Vietnam pulled hundreds from submerged villages in the Mekong Delta this morning, where relentless rains have displaced over 50,000 residents and destroyed vital rice crops.
Emergency aid is pouring in from neighboring countries and international organizations. Officials warn of disease outbreaks in crowded relief camps. Engineers are racing to reinforce dikes before the next storm hits later this week. Chris Anderson reporting.
European Union finance ministers reached a tentative agreement on a sweeping digital services tax during marathon talks in Brussels on Sunday, aiming to level the playing field for local tech firms against U.S. giants like Google and Amazon.
The proposal targets revenues from online advertising and data sales. It could generate billions in funds for green energy projects. Critics from Washington decry it as discriminatory, threatening retaliatory tariffs on EU exports. Joseph Eckerson reporting.
This is the latest news headlines.
A powerful Pacific storm slammed into the California coast at dawn, unleashing hurricane-force winds and torrential downpours that knocked out power to more than 200,000 homes and triggered widespread flash flooding in urban areas.
Evacuations are underway in low-lying neighborhoods near San Francisco. Highway closures are snarling morning commutes across the Bay Area. Meteorologists predict the system will stall, dumping up to 10 inches of rain by evening. Jessica Oakley reporting.
Federal investigators unsealed indictments against a ring of cryptocurrency scammers in New York this morning, accusing them of defrauding investors out of $300 million through elaborate Ponzi schemes disguised as high-yield trading platforms.
The arrests followed a 2-year probe involving the FBI and SEC. Victims span from retirees to tech startups nationwide. Prosecutors vow to seize assets and pursue full restitution for those affected, Lawrence Keller reporting.
Health officials in Texas declared a temporary halt to routine school vaccinations after reports of adverse reactions to a new batch of flu shots surfaced yesterday, sparking concerns over supply chain contamination at distribution centers.
Testing is underway at state labs to identify any impurities. Parents are advised to consult doctors before rescheduling appointments. The CDC is sending experts to assist in tracing the affected lots back to manufacturers, Kevin Sanders reporting.
And that's the latest news headlines with Alan Edwards.
Warning. Listening to other radio stations could cause testicle shrinkage. I'm talking truth.
Okay, that's getting scary out there, no doubt about that. Let's talk about some things that happened back on this date. If we take a look, let's see. 1928, Walt Disney's Mickey Mouse debuts in New York in Steamboat Willie. In 1960, the Copyright Office issues its 10th millionth registration. That happened back. Both of those things happened back on this date. Back in 1916 and 1928. Let's talk about some birthdays going on today. Linda Evans turns 83. Graham Parker, 75. Warren Moon turns 69. Elizabeth Perkins, 65. Kim Wilde turns 65. Owen Wilson, 57. Duncan Sheck turns 56. And Chloe Sevigny, she turned 51 today. There's all kinds of movies that she's been in. Probably her best well-known movie is Boys Don't Cry. But if you really want to see something interesting, look up a movie called The Brown Bunny that she's in. I'll tell you, it might leave you with a shocker, too, if you get to watch that one. That is for sure. Okay, so let's talk about it. Tonight's Mega Million jackpot is for $50 million. Here's last night winning Powerball numbers: 7, 33, 50, 57, 66. Powerball was 23, and Power Play was 5. President Trump hits the stage at McDonald's Impact Summit in D.C. and told franchise owners, operators, and suppliers that the prices will be coming down. He said that his administration inherited historic inflation and has now brought things back to normal. He doubled down on the economic record, saying that his trade and investment deals prevented what he called a potential national catastrophe, even claiming that the country might have gone bankrupt if he had lost to Kamala Harris. So there you go. Also, in some other news, the U.S. Supreme Court will weigh in on the controversial border policy called metering set in place during President Trump's first term that turned away asylum seekers prior to entering the U.S. soil. Justices agrees to review the case that led by immigrants right group Al Otro Lado, who urged the court to leave in place the Ninth Circuit U.S. Court of Appeal decision that Trump's border approach was unconstitutional. So we'll see what happens there. In some other news, Ford and Amazon will partner to permit Ford's franchise location sell its used cars via Amazon Global Market. Yesterday, Ford confirmed that more than 160 of its nearly 3,000 American franchise dealers already raised their hands to begin working with Amazon to offer certified pre-owned vehicles on sale or for sale online through Amazon Autos. Also this year, 81.8 million Americans are set to travel between November the 25th and December 1st, approximately 1.6 million more than last year, once again breaking the new record for domestic travel. According to AAA, the majority of Thanksgiving travelers will hit the road. About 6 million are set to take to the skies to reach their destination. So there you go. Anyways, this is pretty much going to sum up our time together. No doubt about that. At the top of the hour, I'll be going over to radiobig.fm if you want to come and hang out with me for the next couple hours or so as I do my stuff over there. If you don't want to go over there and you want to stay here on Safety FM, you're more than welcome on doing that, because you can hang out with the likes of Sheldon Primus as he will be talking about the world of safety consulting. If I can give you some words of wisdom for today's, friends are like stars. You cannot always see them, but they're always there. And then if I can leave you with a tidbit of advice, on Thanksgiving, make mashed potatoes in a slow cooker. They stay warm, creamy, and free up stove space. An actual culinary miracle. Think about that. Anyways, I know who you are. You know who I am. Love you, mean it, and goodbye.
The views and opinions expressed during this broadcast, podcast, or radio show are solely those of the host and guests and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of Safety FM and or Radio Big. The content discussed, including examples of analysis, is provided for illustrative purposes only. It should not be applied as the sole solution in real-world scenarios, as it is based on limited and dated open source information. Any assumptions made during this broadcast, podcast, or radio show are not reflective of Safety FM and or Radio Big. No portion of this broadcast, podcast, or radio show may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any form or by any means, electronic, mechanical, recording, or otherwise, without prior written permission of Safety FM and or Radio Big. For permission requests, please contact Safety FM or Radio Big directly.
Binary every path I've